Hey everybody, welcome to Powerful Simple Tools to Manage Life Transitions. I'm really excited to talk about this because I think it affects everybody, really. It affects every single one of us. Life is constantly changing and ebbing and flowing, and the better we are able to cope with that, the better we are going to be, really, and the happier we're going to be. So grab a cup of tea or coffee or wine, depending on what time of the day it is for you. I have my tea, my Earl Grey tea. And let's get into this. I really want to invite you as well. This is a conversation. So if you have questions, if something's not clear, please comment, let me know. My phone sometimes doesn't show all the comments, but I can always open it on my laptop, which is right there. Anyway, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Katie. I am a holistic health and life coach, and my focus is really on helping women learn to love their bodies, embrace who they are, and take care of themselves in a way that feels really, really, really good. Health is so important. Well-being is so important, and it is unique to every single one of us. So this topic today is really important because, like I said, it's going to affect us all, but also, so today we're going to talk about 5 different tools, and some of these are going to really resonate with you and some of them might not, and some of them you might already do. So this really is it's really unique to you. So talking about life transitions, this is near and dear to my heart. I have, as have most of you, I am sure, been through many transitions in life. I have traveled, I have moved around the world. I lost my mom when I was 20 years old. I have gained jobs, lost jobs, changed careers, ended relationships, started new ones, lost friends. Like, I have been through all of these. And I feel like if I had been aware of these tools 2, 3, 5 years ago, man, I would have dealt with all that transition a lot better. I really would have. I think a lot of times we don't know what we don't know until we know it, if that makes sense. So really just kind of taking these on board now, and even if you don't necessarily need these tools right now in your life, store them, right? Put them away, tuck them into the back of your mind, and you never know when they are going to be really, really helpful for you. So as I said, today we have 5 tools we are going to walk through. None of these are crazy complicated. These things are all things that you can do or you can use. And what we really want to do is care for your health while you're transitioning. And by health, I mean physical health, yes, but also mental and emotional health. Quite often, when we're going through transitions, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's quite often a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. Everything feels up in the air. We feel very ungrounded. So these tools really are designed to care for you and make you feel held and safe, so that you can keep on stepping through this stage of your life. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about these. Number 1 is be gentle. And I can hear you saying, how is that a tool? Well, let me ask you, when was the last time you used it? Being gentle on yourself it sounds simple, but quite often it's not. We are all our own worst critics. We are all our own biggest, we question everything and we second guess everything. And if you are able to just take a deep breath and be gentle on yourself, really consider that, speak to yourself or handle your emotions as you would a child. If you had a child or a niece or nephew or, even a family friend or something who you were helping through a transition, you wouldn't tell them to just suck it up and get over it. Like, if you had a little 5-year-old next to you who was anxious and scared and crying, you wouldn't be mean to them, right? You wouldn't just kind of slap them around and say, like, chin up, you'll be fine. You'd probably give them a hug, and you would probably ask them why they're crying and ask what they needed to feel better. So tool number 1 is to do that for yourself. And also really consider there is no timeline. We, as a society in general, we like to put timelines on things, right? We like to think, okay, I'm having a hard time, but like I'll give myself a week and then I'll snap out of it. Or after I move, I'm gonna have new friends and I'm gonna feel really settled in a month. Timelines are not always realistic. Timelines can be really, really helpful in a lot of areas in life when it comes to different goals. Timelines when it comes to managing transitions are just not realistic, right? And again, when I'm talking transitions, I'm talking anything from like changing jobs, relationships, friendships, moving, losing a loved one. Like all of these are transitions. Transitions may even be inside of you. Could be something internal that maybe anybody looking at you might not be able to see, but you can feel it. Okay, so be gentle on yourself. Speak to yourself as if you were a child. Be kind, be considerate, be compassionate, and don't put a timeline on how you are supposed to deal with things or when you are supposed to feel better. Because those timelines can be incredibly detrimental and are usually not realistic, really, in any way. The next one I want to talk about is essential oils. So if you know me, you know that I love essential oils, right? Just a few days ago, we announced that 2 Facebook groups are merging. We're going to bring everything into this space, which I'm really excited about. And the fact is, I've been using essential oils for a long time, and I've been using them in my coaching practice for a long time. But up until now, I've had, at least on Facebook, right? Like on the social media, I've been keeping them separate. But that just doesn't make sense, because when we're talking about things like this, they have a role to play. These little plant powerhouses really, really are beautiful tools to help you deal with different things as you go through life. So I've gone through and I have handpicked 6. It was so hard to get this down. I started with like 20 and I got it down to 6. These 6 oils are things that you can use, and I'll go through them and I'll tell you about each of them. And these are going to help you deal with transition, with changes in life in different ways. Now, if you don't know anything about essential oils and you're like, what the heck are you talking about? End of next week, I'm going to be inside the group right here. I am going to be doing an essential oils class, really, where we're going to talk about the basics. We're going to lay the groundwork. So if you're listening and you don't understand, don't worry about it. Please, you're welcome to like make notes or write the names down so that we can revisit this later. But don't worry if you don't understand everything, okay? So the 6 oils, like I said, these 6 oils are oils that I've handpicked. And they are honestly some of my favorites. 2 of them I had in the diffuser this morning. I have to turn it off when I go on video, otherwise there's this weird like loud buzzing thing, fortunately, but I really do use all of these all the time. So number 1, let's just dive right in. Number 1 is lavender. Most of us know what lavender smells like. A lot of lavenders that you get in stores are like full of synthetics, full of perfumes. They're not real lavender. Again, we're going to talk about like purity and brands and all that sort of stuff in the webinar next week. But just to be clear, all the oils I'm talking about today are doTERRA oils. All right, you'll see the bottles, they all look like this. So oil number 1 is lavender. Lavender is known as the queen of calm. So when you are feeling anxious, when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you feel like you just can't handle it, when there's too much up in the air, lavender, okay? And this beauty, seriously, it can be as simple as taking the lid off and just smelling it, right? And you can literally feel it like, bring you back down. Lavender is, honestly, I use it every single day. I don't skip a day ever. I love it. So if you're feeling anxious, feel like you need to kind of relax, lavender, beautiful. So you can use it topically. Lavender is great on the skin, pre-diluted, of course, in another oil or in a lotion, or you can use it aromatically where you smell it, okay? The next one is peppermint. Peppermint, when you are feeling overwhelmed or when you're feeling a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, peppermint can be a really beautiful temporary reprieve from that, and it can help start to turn things around and help elevate your mood a little bit. So again, with peppermint, you can put it on your skin. It is very cold, so you have to make sure that you dilute it a lot, but it is beautiful, again, just to smell. Same thing, take the top off, give it a sniff, right? It's gorgeous. The third oil, and this is one that is often overlooked by many people, but when you're dealing with transitions, again, as I said before, quite often you feel very ungrounded, right? You feel like you've lost your base, you've lost your, and the base, like feeling grounded, feeling centered, is also a feeling of safety. So when you lose that grounding, when you lose that centering, quite often you can lose that feeling of safety. So anything that is going to help you feel grounded and centered is super powerful. And I'm talking about Siberian fir. Many people, again, like I said, they overlook this one. It's not a super common one, but it is lovely. This one is gorgeous. Smell by itself, it's very strong. Like, it's very potent. I don't particularly enjoy it by itself, but I mix this and lavender in a diffuser. Smell them together. So this can really bring you down if you just feel like you're floating away in life. The next one is rosemary. So when we're going through life transitions, we can often feel like we don't know what's happening, there's a loss of control, we don't know when it's all gonna come together, and there's a lot of this like feeling really scattered, right? And we really need to just kind of bring it back to center and trust that everything will be okay. And that's where rosemary comes in. So it is a beautiful oil. It's also really good for like focus and for studying and things like that. But it is really good to help you kind of trust in yourself, trust in the process. Again, beautiful in the diffuser, or sniff it straight out of the bottle. I love rosemary. Use it almost every day. The next one is lemongrass. So we all know lemongrass, right? It's in a lot of stir fries, curries, you cook with it. It is a beautiful oil, again, often overlooked. Lemongrass is great for cleansing. So if you need to cleanse yourself of negative energy, you need to cleanse yourself of overwhelm, you just need to like wipe the slate clean, lemongrass is a great one. So again, excuse me, again, great in the diffuser. Really nice. You can also mix these oils, right? Once you get them and you start kind of trying different ones, you can mix them. But yeah, love lemongrass. Do not overlook it just because it's not quite as common as some of the other ones. Then the sixth oil that can be really useful when you're going through big changes in life is wild orange. Orange, we all know what oranges smell like. Orange is the oil of abundance. It is like a super mood elevator, makes you feel happy, makes you feel grateful, and it opens you to abundance. Again, when we're going through transitions, sometimes we can feel really, overwhelmed, yes, but also like we never know how everything's gonna come back together, and we don't know if there's ever gonna be enough. Is there gonna be enough space for me in my new job? Is there gonna be enough support for me here? Is there gonna be this? Is there gonna be this? Orange is the oil of abundance. So it really makes you feel happier, but also kind of opens you up to the abundance that this world has to offer. So those are my 6 oils. Again, they're lavender, peppermint, Siberian fir, rosemary, lemongrass, and wild orange. If you don't know how to use essential oils, if that all went right over your head, please don't worry. We are gonna have the essential oils webinar in the group next week. I'm gonna be posting the time right when we are done this one, so make sure to check that one out. The next tool that I want to talk about when dealing with life transitions is something that a lot of people might roll their eyes at, and that's journaling. So I know I can already hear you. I don't like journaling. Journaling's too hard. I always forget. The fact is, journaling is powerful. And journaling can be whatever you want it to be. Okay? There is also this conception that journaling has to be you have to sit down with this notebook and write 5 pages every day and it has to be beautiful and poetic and perfect. Like, no, it doesn't, not at all. My journal that I have right now, I got it at the dollar store. It's just like a really basic little journal. There's nothing fancy about it. Some mornings I just write a few like point form things in there. Other days I'll write pages and pages. Journaling is so important because we need to unload our feelings. We need to get them out. When we are going through changes in life, there is often so much happening in the outside world, but usually even more happening inside of our own heads. And having a journal can really just be an outlet to get that out. You don't have to do anything with it, just get it out. And sometimes by letting it out, it allows us to really deal with things in a way that feels much more calm and peaceful, and it can really empower us. Another aspect of journaling is gratitude journaling. Again, I have my gratitude journal here. These two live together on my desk all the time. And gratitude journaling is great, again, when things are up in the air, when you don't know where you're going or what's going to happen or even what your life is going to look like. You always have things to be grateful for. Always. Even if that is, my lungs are still breathing, or my lungs are still breathing, my heart is still beating. You know, there's always something in your life to be grateful for. If you have a roof over your head, if you have food on the table, and really by focusing on all the good things in your life and everything that you have to be grateful for, it can really, it can just really ease that transition period. So journaling, consider it. If you don't already journal, just consider it, all right? Don't overlook this one. It's really easy and it's really powerful. Number 4 is self-care. So everything we've talked about up till now is really a form of self-care, but self-care is so key. And I hear every single day, I don't have time. I don't have time, I don't have time. And I would ask you, how long do you spend on social media every day? How long do you spend just scrolling the internet? How long do you spend watching TV? And can you take 5 minutes of that? Can you take just 5 minutes of that time and allocate it towards your self-care? 5 minutes. Because self-care, again, does not need to be complicated, doesn't need to be expensive, it doesn't need to take forever, it doesn't need to be the same thing every day, but it is powerful. And when I'm talking self-care, this can be anything from making a cup of tea and sitting down for 5 minutes by yourself and just enjoying it. It can be things like going for a walk. If you maybe go to a forest or go to a beach or, somewhere in nature, surround yourself with just natural beauty and just breathe. It could be having a bubble bath, giving yourself a foot massage, going and getting a massage, getting a pedicure. There's a million things that you can do. But the whole thing about self-care is that it needs to feel good to you. It needs to feel nourishing and yummy to you. Self-care, it doesn't matter what it looks like to another person. That's completely irrelevant. If it feels good to you, then it's good, right? Then it's self-care. So when we're talking about self-care through transitions, really consistency is key. And even, like I said, 5 minutes. If you can do 5 minutes a day, a small little thing every single day as you're transitioning, as you're starting a new job, as you're going, ending a relationship or even entering into a new one, if you've lost a loved one and you're grieving and you're going through that process, whatever it is, if you can literally take 5 minutes, a timeout, I call it a self-care timeout. If you can give yourself a 5-minute self-care timeout every single day and just tap into you and give yourself something that you need, oh, you're miles ahead. Like you're winning the game if you can do that. Honestly, you really are. And then the last one that I really want to talk about is having a support system. So a support system is really often, I think, undervalued. There is this idea in our society today that I have to be strong and I have to go it alone, both men and women. have this idea, right? Like we have to just push through and we have to be Trojans and we have to like keep a brave face. And sometimes you need a support system. You need somebody that you can talk to. You need a shoulder to cry on. You need, Archie's just decided to join us. You need somebody in your life. And this can, again, this is going to look different to everybody. This might just be a really good friend. Might be a sibling or a cousin, another type of family member. It could be a coworker. It could be a coach. It could be a therapist. It could be, chances are it's going to be a combination of all of these. Do not undervalue a support system in your life. When you're going through any transition at all, you cannot do it alone. No matter how much you really wish that you could do it alone, you can't do it alone. None of us can. We as humans are social creatures. Oh, Maria, you're very welcome. You're so beautiful. We as humans are social creatures. We are not meant to live alone. We're not meant to do things alone. We're not meant to cope with life's stresses alone, right? Up until very recently, we lived in big family groups. And now we have this idea of separation. I call bullshit. Let's bring it back together. Going through transitions does not have to be hard. There's always going to be some pain involved, all right? I'm not saying there's not. You might be grieving. You might be healing from some trauma. Whatever it is, you might just be adjusting to a new place and not have any friends in that new place yet. But by keeping these 5 super simple tools with you and really looking at them every single day and using them every single day, you can ease that transition. So again, if you missed them, the 5 tools that we talked about today, number 1, be gentle. Be gentle on yourself. Have empathy, have compassion. Do not set a timeline for how you're supposed to get over it. Speak to yourself as if you were a small child. Be gentle, right? Be really gentle on yourself. And it's easier said than done, I get that. But by being mindful about it and checking in again and again and again, you'll make a habit out of it. Number 2 is use essential oils. I went through the 6 essential oils. These are some of my favorites. They are really powerful plant. They're just natural plant extracts. And they have an amazing ability to really support you in the way that you need to be supported. Again, if you want to learn more about oils, next week, end of next week, we're going to be having a webinar right here in this group. So check that out. Number 3 was journaling. Whether it's a regular journal, whether you are doing point form, whether you are pouring your heart out, whether it's a gratitude journal, maybe it's all of the above, have an outlet. Have some way that you can just get your emotions out of your body. It's so important to bottle it up, because the more you bottle it up, bad for your emotional and your mental health, of course, but that can actually create physical challenges as well. There is nothing good about keeping it bottled up. Nothing. Get it out. Number 4 is self-care. If you can delegate even 5 minutes to yourself every single day, man, that is a beautiful gift and you will be so far ahead. And then number 5 is have a support system. And that is, again, any support system. Again, whether that is coaching, whether that's me, whether it's counseling, whether it's family, whether it's friends, it doesn't matter. Do not do this alone. Reach out. Ask for help. If you don't know how to do that, if you don't feel like you have anybody in your life who can support you through transitions, comment on this video and just say me. Give me a little wave. Let's have a conversation, right? Let's start talking. You do not have to do this alone. So if you need help with any of these, if any of these are not clear, if you're not really sure what to do, if you're feeling overwhelmed, let me know. Again, comment on the video, just say me, give me a wave, put your hand up. I'll message you back and we can just start talking, okay? You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to figure this out alone. There is help out there. So that is it. That is what we're talking about today. And as I said at the beginning, this is so near and dear to my heart because I've been through many big transitions in life and felt really unsupported and really overwhelmed and quite honestly terrified through a lot of them. And through my own learnings, my own journey, I've discovered a lot of these tools. So you don't have to start from scratch, right? You use my lessons. You don't have to learn the lesson yourself. Use my lessons and incorporate these into your life. And if you want to know more, if you want to have a conversation, if you want to have a talk about coaching, if you really feel like you need more help than a 30-minute webinar can do, let me know. All right, put it in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day or evening, again, depending on where you are in the world. And I will be seeing you guys very soon.